when to walk away from her? How do you know it's time to move on or it's really something that's still worth fighting for? The reality is, us as humans were built to fight and persevere. Our resilience is really tested at the hardest of times. But as a psychotherapist, I've witnessed many relationships being built up by really truly fixing the core issues, really reigniting back the love that they once felt for each other. Or there's a harsh reality that a lot of people do not want to face, which is you probably chose the wrong partner and that this relationship was not supposed to happen to begin with. Welcome to Men's Mental Health Institute. I really built this platform not to be polarizing. I know both ends of the spectrum, men or women, they're just pointing fingers at each other, and I really don't want this platform to be that way. I really want to bring some valuable insight for men as to how to truly connect to women in a way that you feel like you don't have to sacrifice your needs, but understanding how to create genuine connection with not just women, but everyone around you so you don't feel lonely anymore. So if you like this type of topic, please do me a favor. I'm trying to create an army of men that can support each other, feel vulnerable in talking about your daily struggles when it comes to modern dating, modern women, and specifically the mental health struggles that just don't get talked about often enough so that you guys can support each other. Now, once again, I didn't build this platform to destroy relationships. I'm not trying to tell you to either break up or divorce your wife or break up your girlfriend even, but this video simply is to really highlight that in any man's life, the most impactful and greatest decision that you can make in life for yourself is probably in your selection of your life partner, the woman that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. However, they're at a point where you guys are either broken up, divorced, or you're considering it, and now you really want to know how to not let this happen again. Or is this relationship worth fighting for? So today, we're really going to talk about the red flags that you should look out for to see whether or not your relationship is really at its wit's end. And in practice, I really like to focus on you because you have the power to make decisions in your life that is impactful enough to get to the place that you want to be. That's what I want to build for every single one of my followers, and most of all, everyone that works with me. It's this power and control to be able to make decisions that you know for certain is the right one. And so when it comes to your woman, right, choosing to leave and let go or continue fighting is not something that I can convince you, but I can give you tips in which you can start reflecting on your own reality. Because many times when you're in a relationship, you're in the problem on its own, you're a little bit foggy and you need some clarity as to whether or not this is a fixable matter. So I'm going to dive right into it. A lot of my tips and value and my advice and thoughts come from psychology as well as combining it in the modern day lives of men and women, men specifically. And so do know that I try my best to combine the both. So first, I really want to highlight that as humans, we're built to feel our identity be attached to the things and people and projects that we're invested in. Whether that be time, effort, or money, we immediately feel a sense of obligation and self-identity towards things that we are actively investing in. So what that means is if you're in a really long relationship or a really long marriage, it's extremely natural for you to feel as though you don't want to give it up. And on the flip side, when it comes to marriages and relationships, you've built this empire, maybe a house, a home, maybe children came out of it, beautiful children, this picturesque relationship and family that you've spent so much time effortlessly sacrificing every waking moment to work for. It was your purpose. The more time and effort and investment is put into building something or building up a woman, the harder it is for you to walk away. And I really want to highlight that. That is truly how humans are built, so it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, you're probably a little crazy, okay? That's my very first point. It's that you've invested so much time, effort, and money into building this amazing family, this loving, filled with care, even though it's filled with toxic dynamics and you're completely depleted of energy, you still don't want to give up. And I get it. Okay, so right now I'm gonna give you some red flags that can show if whether or not you are not showing up into the marriage or the relationship in the way you need, or there's a lot of red flags that you probably miss, and that it may be time for you to reflect on whether or not the hard decision of choosing to let go is the one for you. The very first one that I see in a lot of my clients before starting therapy is that they no longer feel disappointed. They actually feel completely numb. It's almost like they're just surviving and waking up and going through the hours and routine of the day as if it was nothing to them. There's no spark in life. There's no feeling of happiness, but they don't feel sad. Okay? And what this really shows me is when you're feeling numb, and specifically, this could be numb to conflicts that happen within your life and within your relationship with her, okay? Your wife, girlfriend, or woman that you're seeing. You're past the point of feeling disappointed or sad or angry. There's no emotion. What that shows me is you actually have a hard time accepting the fact that your world and your relationship has shown your body and mind that is what it is. Okay, let me explain this because it sounds kind of confusing, okay? When you're building or creating a relationship with someone, you're bound to make mistakes and you're bound to somehow lose each other's trust a little bit, okay? The more you grow attached to each other as two people, the more you will be affected by what that person chooses to do or not do or say, okay? And what that does is creates small instances of red flags at a point where that couple doesn't let it explode into where you might be at now. Okay, so how it normally works is when your partner somehow loses your trust, doesn't show up on time when she said she was going to, first instance of mistrust, right? Your body will feel actually a sense of shock in your system. So the first one is shock. Right? And as that keeps going, then you'll feel disappointment, right? Maybe you've told her one time and maybe she does it again, right? Then it's disappointment, okay? And then the very last stage is actually feeling numb. And what that means is you're constantly feeding back into the feedback loop of your how you envision your woman. What I'm trying to say is if the red flags keep going, being undealt with, okay? There's no true words and actions being matched. She says she's gonna fix it and it keeps happening. Okay, great, let's try it again. She says, I'm sorry, and she does it again. And you're like, it's okay, you're trying to believe her words, but you can't, right? As your body is being trained with this constant cycle of sorry and then no change, you'll hit the point of numbness. Okay, if there's really no true change, right? Most healthy couples will choose to fix it in between feeling shocked and disappointed. However, when you get to numbness, you're not even surprised that she didn't listen, that she reacted the way she did. And that actually shows me that your body, it's really scary because your body no longer even views her inability to give you what you need to feel respected, loved, cared for. Your body doesn't even view it as an attack anymore because you're so used to it. It's this newfound depletion of sacrifice that you've actually trained your body to be okay with. And that's the first point I want to hit. Is that if you're feeling numb, you no longer even have the energy to feel sad, disappointed, surprised, or angry towards her anymore. And that doesn't mean, okay, that doesn't mean or give you the excuse for yourself to even feel as though you have the capability to make the decision that, well, it's okay, I don't feel anything anymore. I see a lot of my clients make that wrongful decision for themselves, and it just affects you in ways that you don't even consciously realize. First red flag is in that I see as a psychotherapist in my clients is numbness in their partner's actions. Number 2 is also a hard one to accept, because as you realize you're not even in love with them anymore, or you were never even in love with them to begin with. And that is a very, very, very scary truth to accept. Why? Because men are built to never give up. Men are built to push forward. They're responsible. They don't make excuses. They try not to make excuses. They have a lot of their identity fixed on obligation. As a man, how could you admit that what you've spent so much time, effort, attention, and money in building up, how could you admit that wasn't love? And so this is a point in which a lot of my clients hit a light bulb, right? And I need you to be very careful with this, because you could be at a place where you're just completely depleted, or you're actually not voicing out your anger. You're unable to do that because you're so numb, right? She doesn't even have the opportunity to fix some of the issues that you have in your head. So I want you to take number 2, not in love with her anymore, with a grain of salt. However, if we're gonna dig into this, okay, how do you understand if it's love or lust? And this is very masculine based, okay? This is a lot of the times not how women are built. Women are built to view love very emotionally. Yes, there's a sense of obligation. However, women have this oxytocin that they kind of like feel when they're with a man that they truly respect and want to be loyal to. It's that innate emotional core that they feel. However, when it comes to men, sometimes I see that when a relationship is actually really challenging or really hard, you have these cycles of ups and downs and ups and downs. You fight and you go down, and then you don't fight and you guys make up, and then you guys show potential of having a healthier relationship, so you go back up. She's showing you all the right signs again and shows back up, and then she disappoints you again, and it's like us up and down. And I'm not saying relationships are not like that. All healthy relationships has its up and downs, okay? However, if it's getting too much, right, where it's almost every other day, or words and actions aren't matching every other day, that's another story to dig into. But many of the times a man is more attracted and misinforms himself that the woman or the relationship that is in front of him is actually love, when actually the relationship is his own ability to have an opportunity to win. It's a man on his conquest. It's to prove to the world and prove to your family and prove to every single person who told you to leave her that they were wrong and that you both can make it through this. If you don't know this side of you, or you can't differentiate between love and conquest or challenge, you might be falling into a project that you might not want to risk fighting for, because this conquest might be too much for you to lose, okay? Again, not here telling you to leave her or continue, but just know men are built through conquest, okay? Number 3 is very specific. The red flag is basically there's no commitment and she doesn't want to talk about it. Very plain and simple, okay? This is the number 1 question that I ask before even beginning to understand whether or not this relationship is salvable. We have 2 people who have very different thoughts and very different needs, and they both want to essentially get the best out of a contract that they have together. They want to get the most out of the relationship, right? A relationship is a contract. If you don't view it that way, you might want to start viewing it that way. There's no commitment to continue signing the contract that you want to make it work at least, but you haven't been able to, right? And then also there's no skills in which you know how to negotiate your own terms. And I really like using this analogy because it almost helps a lot lot of my clients wake up a little bit, because many of the times, if you're the only person who signed that contract, the contract is null. If she doesn't want to commit to the relationship or even tell you, hey, I feel like crap, I really hate that we're fighting. She may even stonewall you. She may attack you. She may be extra demanding, extra naggy. But if at the end of the day you ask each other, I get things have been pretty crappy, but if there was something that we can do and we don't know what it is, do you want to fix it? Are you committed to fixing it? If her answer is no, or even if your answer is no, we can't do anything about the relationship. So that is number 3 for you. There's no commitment and there's no negotiation skills. I would say negotiation skills is a easier one to mark as like a green flag. If you guys don't know how to negotiate your terms of a contract or within the relationship, which a lot of my clients like verbalize as we suck at communication. It's not communication, it's negotiation skills. That is something that you can learn, okay, by learning how to negotiate terms, understanding her emotional triggers, everything that she needs as well as everything you need, right? Being able to come out of that meeting feeling like you both won essentially is the key to having amazing negotiation skills, feeling like you're both the winner, okay? A lot of the times when conflicts happen, one person always loses, and I understand men, it's always you. You always lose because her emotions just get too much and you have to say sorry even when you don't really mean it. I get it, okay? Completely get it. Number 4, red flag, biggest red flag. I always ask my clients this as well. It's that you don't think that she is a good parent. This one hits home. It's that if you were given the opportunity to re-choose the mother of your child, you would take it at an instant. Now, men, I don't want you to be resentful or hateful or anything, okay? This is where the ability to be emotional regulation and the ability to compartmentalize roles in your own identity, right? Not take things personally comes really, really handy, because I don't want you to answer this question irrationally, okay? She may be the greatest mother and you might not be in the place to really view her actions as loving because you're at a very angry place, painful place. I get it, but take some time, right? If your answer, you're still calm, you really are in a logical space and you still view her as a horrible, I don't want to like talk crap about mothers, but if you were given the magic wand to re-choose the mother of your child, you might just take that opportunity. Now, don't want you to also mix up like you would parent differently, like different parenting styles or different disciplinary styles. Those aspects don't mean that like she's a horrible parent. It just means you guys don't get along and you guys don't have the same values and compatibility when it comes to growing and nurturing children and teaching children, right? Your values are different, for instance. And so those aspects doesn't make her a horrible mother if she disagrees with you in that stance, but it really stems down from the true values of a woman. Like if you were given the opportunity, re-choose the mother of your child, would you? Is she a good person? Is she a good woman? If you're telling me she's not and that she's not a good mother, another red flag. So I hope you guys really found this video helpful and insightful. You see how I bring a lot of red flags in which I try to bring as much clarity to your time or your reflective thoughts after this video. I never want this platform to be bashing women or being negative towards women. I really do believe that women are, when they're healthy, and one that I'm trying to work towards as well, can be the most valuable to a man. They can add so much value to you. And if you have two people who are extremely high value, extremely concrete with their standards and communication, can be the most beautiful relationship ever. And that's what I want to create. I think relationships, love, marriage is beautiful. Children and families is a result of it. And I don't think there's any greater achievement in life other than that, okay? Humans, even in this modern age, work extremely hard, but at the end of the day, not a single human being doesn't want the purpose to live for the greater good, and that means building an amazing and beautiful family. And this is why I created this platform. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below what you learned out of these red flags. What brought you here? What are you struggling with? What's your mental health rating from a 1 to 10? 1 being like things are horrible, 10 being you feel like you can fly to the moon. I really try my best to look through every single comment and really see what are the stories behind these computers that we're facing, because there are real pains out there, there are real stories out there, and there is silence beyond the deafening of my own ears. It's so silent, it frightens me how silent men are about their daily struggles and their mental health struggles. I get it. This is why I'm here, and I really feel like there's not enough women supporting men, specifically men's mental health, and not enough practices that solely focus on high functioning men who still struggle. Just because you're high functioning and you don't really feel you want to take drugs, or right, like how society really treats mental health, right, doesn't mean you don't have pains. And this is what I mean. I think mental health is probably the most powerful aspect of human life. Thank you for joining me, and have an amazing day.
Hi everyone, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to follow us on TikTok and IG where we post daily, and YouTube where we post weekly.